So we need to look at deforestation, and deforestation means that we are cutting down and clearing the forest to create space, and that space is often used for urban development. The urban development could be for farms, it could be to cut down the wood, which is then used for burning or use in manufacturing and building. We could build new towns. All sorts of urbanization projects can take place as a reason for deforestation. Now, this syllabus statement at first glance seems to be quite straightforward, but it is a triple statement. So it's really important here that what we can do is make connections between related parts of the course. Again, the textbook covers this very well on pages 215 to 216 of your textbook. So let's think about some of these connections. We need to understand that carbon dioxide, which is released into the Earth's atmosphere as a consequence of respiration, is then taken up and fixed when a plant does photosynthesis. And that locked in carbon and the uptake of carbon dioxide as a consequence, it means that we are decreasing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And remember that carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. So respiration, photosynthesis, and this idea of the carbon cycle are intricately connected to what we need to think about when we're looking at deforestation. So by taking down vast tracts of plants which do photosynthesis, effectively what you're doing is you are removing the uptake of carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide levels stand to increase as a result of deforestation. What we also need to think about is that plants do transpiration. So plants are involved in the water cycle. Plants are taking up water. Water is again used for their own metabolic purposes, and the plants will lose water as transpired water into the Earth's atmosphere. So if you are cutting down vast tracts of forest, what you are doing is you are preventing the uptake and the release of water in the regular way that is associated with the water cycle. And a consequence of this can be quite significant changes in climate. And what can also happen is that by removing the forest, you are removing the root system, and the root system will be there to not only stabilize the soil, but to take up water during heavy rainfall. So with the absence of the forest, what we're going to get is that heavy rain being essentially washing away the soil and causing erosion, also washing away ions, which would normally be taken up by the plant roots, are going to get leached into waterways in significantly higher numbers than is ordinarily the case. So the removal of the forest is going to impact the carbon cycle, it's going to impact the water cycle, and it's going to cause changes in erosion patterns and leaching patterns from that particular plot of land. What we're also doing is removing the forest, which is also the home of the variety of different organisms. So by cutting down the forest, we're reducing the biodiversity that we would ordinarily get in that particular space. So we've got lots of connections to a whole variety of different parts of the course here. If you now pause the video and go in and watch this video by Mr. Exum, he's going to cover what I've just said in a little bit more detail and reinforce what we need to know. Once you've done that, if you then go in to have a look at this video, also this gives you a little bit of a case study and it gives you some great visuals to look at. So pause the video here. So hopefully you're clear about where these connections take place by watching those two videos. And I've actually taken this clip from Save My Exams, and Save My Exams are a revision source, if you like. And this is quite useful, I think, for you to check in and add to your notes. Just make sure that you appreciate and can define what leaching means and understand what the exam boards want you to know, the depth and the detail. Same thing for erosion, evapotranspiration, the carbon cycle is what we're talking about here, and the loss of biodiversity. So this should be a very good source for you to complement with your notes. And the last job for you to do is, having read the videos, having seen this particular video here, having read the textbook, you need to make extra notes and do side 11 of the booklet. There's also a past paper question that I've posted in our Google Classroom for you to have a go at, which again gives you some practice at past paper questions.